town celebrate Christmas in a very different way because we're cursed. Sitting cross-legged on dirt, my classmates' blood running down my face, I gulped down diet soda until it was frothing in the back of my nose. Movement behind me. Whipping around, I shot a startled looking Alice Jarrett point blank in the head. I could already see them, camera flashes behind the magical barrier trapping us. I could imagine how nervous they all were, awaiting my next kill. There were two contestants left, Alex, Marie. All three of us had already made our choice. Alex was hidden in the darkness, and Marie was just vibing, stealing from dead contestants. I told her I was going to slit her throat. Then I was going to shoot Alex in the back of his head. 11:57. December 25th was looming, and we were yet to make our move. When I was 8, my town banned the song Santa Claus is Coming to Town because it sent kids into fits of hysterical sobbing. In 1978, a group of kids kidnapped Blitzen, Santa's reindeer, killed and dismembered him, hoping for immortality or magical powers. They got neither, and we were cursed. To make up for our sins, our town's children would fight for our survival every year. If we lost, Santa would release his wrath on us. No survivors. In 1978, he killed half of the senior class, including Blitzen's murderers. Grammy described it as a bloodbath so bad they had to rebuild the school. Parents killed themselves after seeing the remnants of what he left behind. They were described as dolls with no faces, shells scooped of their insides. Dad competed in 1996. He won and then went on to meet my mom. They had me, and then he hung himself 5 minutes after I was born. Dad probably knew I would be seen as his legacy. Our senior class had to kill to survive. Spill blood in the name of Blitzen. The winner's prize was a choice, allowing our town to live another year, or be drowned in darkness, every civilian ripped apart by Santa's demonic elves. We were all trained from a young age to choose the right option, ring the bell, and grant lives with mercy. But I was covered in Lizzie. Fractured pieces of Tommy's skull clung to my sweater. I was cold, tired. I could still hear their screams, feel their blood caked all over me. I could see why Santa chose a traumatized kid to make this choice. Cruel, but clever. Alex and Marie stood by my side. Ready? Alex's blood-slicked hand entangled with mine. They wanted it to be fast. Painless. I didn't give warning, slicing Marie's throat open and shooting him in the head. The town started screaming at me behind the barrier, urging me to ring the bell. Instead, I gulped down soda. When jingling bells sounded, horrified cries erupting behind the barrier, I just smiled at Santa's looming shadow, his maniacal, bloodthirsty grin and tragic eyes, and raised my coke to Blitzen. A house that is going through puberty. Fiona has always dreamed of being proposed at the edge of a cliff, pointing towards large waves. She dreams of a man to take her away somewhere without telling friends and family, and then she wants to get taken to a high cliff where her man could propose to her on that cliff. It's her dream, but right now she is dealing with her house going through puberty. Puberty is hard for all humans, and even Houses of Fiona is having a hard time maintaining her house while it is going through puberty. Fiona still dreams, though, of being proposed to on a high, windy cliff. Fiona has always had luck with men, and she has found a new potential. They hit it off straight away, and her new long-term boyfriend didn't mind that her house was going through puberty. When a house goes through puberty, things can always become messy with things moving on their own. Strange noises and things breaking on their own. Houses going through puberty is always a difficult thing. Fiona and her new man were making it work though, and she told him of her dream of being whisked off somewhere without friends and family knowing, and being proposed on a high cliff. Fiona's new man helped her deal with her house going through puberty and dealing with the mess that a house can go through when it is in the puberty stage. She couldn't believe how accepting her new man was, and her house was really testing both of them. It can be scary dealing with a house going through puberty, and even scary. You can get objects moving on their own and apparitions and even strange noises. The two of them pulled through though and didn't quit on each other, and they were both destined for one and another. Then Fiona's dream came true when her new man took her somewhere without telling friends and family, and her new man proposed to her on a high cliff. As her new man kneeled in front of her, with his back facing the deep, heavy waters, he showed Fiona the expensive engagement ring. As soon as Fiona saw the expensive engagement ring, she pushed her new man off the cliff, and he went straight into the waters and drowned. She now has another expensive engagement ring which she will sell off and use the money to keep up house payments for a house going through puberty. She knew though that her house isn't going through puberty, but rather it is haunted with the souls of her past lovers which she had also pushed off cliffs after they gave her the expensive engagement rings. Nobody ever suspects her because her potential men never tell anyone to which cliffs they are going to. Move to Berryhaven now, experience the perfect life. A house in the middle of a pleasant neighborhood. Windows lit the night sky with a festive Taco Tuesday. Coworkers, neighbors, laughter and music all around. In the center of the party, the owner of this lovely house was the marketing magic man, Terence Burbank. I had a perfect life. After moving in 5 years ago, I got a job in marketing. Awesome team. I married my lovely Elaine. In Berryhaven, neighbors always smile. The grass was green. The sky was blue. Even the ice cream machine never broke. I couldn't be more happy. A perfect life, no doubt. That's why the party went silent when I announced my plan to leave. It all began when Elaine forgot her favorite earring. It's actually an earpiece connected to every single citizen in Berryhaven. The job I had, the people I would bump into, what would happen. They all communicated and scripted my experience. Every single steps. Even what should I be eating? Asphyxiating. The fight with Elaine escalated. She kept saying I was paranoid. I packed my stuffs. Then the doorbell ranged. Hey Terry, you really gonna leave Tiger? Bob, the branch manager, arrived at the most convenient time. Then my boss, how about we go fishing at the Berryhaven Lake, pal? I rushed to my car. Florists, doctors, the whole community were following. Hollowed stare. I heard in Elaine's earpiece, execute code 22D, hurry. I drove away. I saw rakes and Molotov cocktails. BZZZ. He's turning on the maple saying, ecstatic, until one voice came out. Terry, honey, what happened to you? Please, I want my Terry back. She was on the verge of crying. No, don't give in. I'm sorry, Elaine. I have made my choice. This is what you want, Terry? She sounded odd. Then, Mr. Terence, thank you for your confirmation. Her tone changed into a cold, emotionless voice. Chills down my spine. She disconnected right after. After a couple hours, I faced a steel wall with armed guards. A dead end. Back at Berryhaven. The town was strangely empty. I saw Elaine at our favorite restaurant. Elaine, I called her. An unknown man walked beside her. He kissed Elaine. As I was about to go punch him, they just walked past me. I love you, Andy. She leaned to him like she used to do with me. They drove off, didn't even look at me. As I wandered around, there were people, my friends. None talked to me. I lost my access to my office. My heart skipped a beat. I came back to my house. Hundreds of people were at my front lawn. I was frozen by what I saw. A house in the middle of a pleasant neighborhood. Candles lit the night sky. Coworkers, neighbors, sorrows all around. In the center of the crowd laid a photo of a marketing magic man. Above it reads in loving memory of Terence Burbank, he had a perfect life. Little Drummer Boy, Bourbon Street. It vibrates with the pounding music, the shouts and drunken laughter, the warmth of all the bodies crammed together. People who are respected elsewhere come here to be despicable to themselves and others. I love the honesty of it. The men and women who wear masks their whole lives take them off here. They reek of drink and drugs. The sleek leavings of infidelity are hidden under their clothes. The scent of it gets stronger as the night goes on. The beggars and those who gave up litter the edges with their hands out. Some of them are asleep on sidewalks that smell of thyme and piss. The tourists step over them, some tripping and spilling their drinks onto them. They curse at the sleeping people for the spilled beer. The young ones are peppered throughout the horde. They're sitting on 5-gallon buckets while they use drumsticks to beat on another that's placed upside down in front of them. Smaller buckets are next to them. Some have money from passers-by, but most do not. These children beat on those buckets long after children of respected people are fast asleep. Rarely do I see their parents. My heart keeps rhythm with the drumming, a hard pulsing beat that makes me feel alive. I have not left this street for years, an open-air market of apathy and excess. I can get whatever I want here, but I am still careful. Those who live long live carefully. They have a method. My method works every time. Never, ever take those who matter. I have set my heart on a small boy with 3 buckets in front of him. His beat is different. Feral, muscular. I walk over and stand in front of him and take in his rhythm. People pass by. There are $2 in his small bucket. No one is appreciative of what he brings. It's a natural talent that I'm consumed by. My stomach is screaming for him. But whatever is left of my heart wants more of the gift. He is raining down on those buckets. His eyes are closed. It's more than a hustle to him. It's a dream. I cry out to the God that cursed me, thankful for this boy and his gift. I'm drowning in his music. I don't see one of the respectables take his money bucket. Eyes closed, I hear the respectable man laughing with 2 friends. It's a joke to the drunk fools that they stole a child's money. It's a joke to them that the boy still has his eyes closed and doesn't notice. I break my rule. The music is worth the risk. That boy matters. I eat respectably. I throw what's left into the river in front of St. Louis Cathedral. A beautiful irony. The child's eyes are still closed when I replace the bucket. It now contains far more than $2. As long as he keeps coming back, I'll make sure it always does. Keep playing. Tonight I played hide and seek with a killer. It was a regular Tuesday night. My parents were away and I had the house to myself. I was chilling on the couch, binge watching a series, when I noticed something odd outside my living room window. The street was dimly lit, but I could make out a figure lurking near my neighbor's house. At first, I thought it might be one of their friends or a family member, someone they were expecting. But the longer I watched, the more uneasy I became. This person was just standing there, staring at their front door. It gave me the creeps, but being the rational person I am, I dismissed it as my imagination running wild. As the night progressed, I got up to grab a snack from the kitchen. That's when I heard a creak, a subtle noise that sent a chill down my spine. I froze. The front door was slightly ajar. Panic set in, and I immediately regretted not double-checking if I'd locked it. I hesitated, debating whether to investigate or call the police. But curiosity got the better of me, and against my better judgment, I tiptoed toward the door. It swung open with a soft groan, revealing an eerily quiet house. I heard a noise upstairs like footsteps. My heart pounded as I realized someone was inside my home. Fear gripped me, but I forced myself to stay calm. I retreated to a closet, my breath caught in my throat, praying they wouldn't find me. From my hiding spot, I could hear the intruder moving through the rooms, searching for something. The tension was unbearable. I clutched my phone, ready to call for help, when I heard a noise from downstairs. It was a door slamming shut. I strained to listen, and my blood ran cold as I heard the unmistakable sound of a scream echoing through the night. My mind raced, and I realized the intruder hadn't found me, but had moved on to my neighbor's house. Guilt and relief washed over me in equal measure. I couldn't believe the horrifying turn of events. I stayed hidden until I was sure it was safe, and then, with shaky hands, I called the police. When they arrived, I explained what had happened. The reality hit me like a ton of bricks when they went next door. My neighbor, a kind elderly couple, had been brutally attacked. The scene was something out of a nightmare. It wasn't a random break in. The intruder had specifically targeted them. The investigation unfolded, and the police caught the perpetrator. Turns out he had a twisted motive and had mistaken my house for theirs. It's a chilling realization that I narrowly escaped a fate that befell my neighbors. The guilt still lingers, wondering if there was anything I could have done differently. The randomness of it all, the fact that a simple twist of fate saved my life that night, is a haunting thought. It's a reminder that danger can lurk in the most unexpected places, and sometimes survival is just a matter of luck. So, there you have it. The night I narrowly avoided a killer, but couldn't prevent the tragedy that unfolded next door. Life can be stranger and scarier than any horror movie. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you, Mark. I sat in the dimly lit room surrounded by strange objects. The new and extremely potent drugs were starting to take hold. Hey, Mark, it's okay. I'm right here with you. David's voice echoed, his face morphing and shifting before my eyes. Just go with it, dude. David? What's wrong with your face, man? I slurred, and I couldn't help but giggle. Yeah, bro, it's me. Chill out and just roll with it, okay? As his face started to twist and turn upside down, my heart began to race, and I couldn't handle how he looked in that moment. I closed my eyes and listened to his words instead. We used to have some crazy times, didn't we? His voice seemed to come from all directions, and it tickled my eardrums. We talked for what felt like hours, reminiscing about our childhood and sharing secrets. Remember that time we snuck out to meet Becky and James in the woods? Yeah, I chuckled. I scraped all my side climbing out the window. I was bleeding before we'd even properly left. I turned to see David's smile was oddly crooked. Oh man, I remember now. I got to the bottom. I was almost crying, and you hit me around the back of the head and said, "Don't be a pussy." Oh man, I wanted to cry so hard. We both rocked back and forth with laughter. You were always doing that. You always deserved it. He laughed. What did we end up doing in the woods? Do you remember? Oh, I remember all right. His voice low and serious this time, and it took me by surprise. What do you mean? I asked. His face was now just a piece of skin. What happened? We went to woods. We met Becky and James. We went to the den we built. Oh yeah, I remember the den. Right, the den by the lake. And do you remember what happened there? You kept calling me a pussy again because I was complaining about my side. Yeah, and then James and Becky started to join in. You were all bullying me, and I remember that I just wanted to go home. You wouldn't let me. I sat by myself and cried whilst you all laughed and had fun. A tiny tear began forming in my left eye. Uh-huh, and then? And then I saw a big rock. And what did you do with that big rock? I hit you all with it, over the back of your heads. The tear fell. Thank you, Mark, he said. You finally faced the truth. David's voice took on a completely different tone, cutting through the haze in my mind. What? Who are you? My name is Dr. Carter Mark, and I'm here to get that confession from you. We've been waiting years. You can return to your regular cells soon once the effects have worn off. Congratulations, you responded to our treatment very well, which gives me great hope for future investigations. Thank you, Mark. Boys, don't play in bunkers. Boys, don't play in the woods. If you get mauled, you could die out there. That was the warning parents in our town told kids like me and my friend Beckett. Technically, we obeyed them. About a mile into the woods near our street was an abandoned bomb shelter. In the middle of the clearing was a slanted door jutting out of the ground, with two outward swinging metal panels that could be deadlocked from inside. The furnished bunker had been stalked by some insane doomsday prepper in the 90s before they deserted it. Beckett and I discovered it unattended ages ago, making it the perfect safe, secret weekend hangout for two 10-year-olds. In the fall of my fifth grade school year, my parents announced that we were moving. For old time's sake, Beckett and I decided to chill one last time in the bunker. Saddened, I said goodbye to the piles of canned food, bottled water, flush toilet, and electric generator. Pity you won't get to try all this stuff, Beckett sighed. Someone could survive for like 3 months with all the things down here. Maybe, I laughed doubtfully. Afterwards, I bid goodbye to him, shut the bunker door, and went home. My family moved across state the next day. I didn't think about Beckett much after then. I'd made new friends and assumed he did too, which I imagined was why he never wrote. In the winter of my fifth grade school year, that bunker suddenly re-enters my mind. While opening a stationery cupboard in my classroom, the door jams. I can't open it until I notice a chair blocking it from the outside. That's when an insidious thought invades my head. Could the same thing have happened to Beckett on that night? Could he be missing and alive in the bunker? I remember those words. Someone could survive for 3 months down here, which means immediately I raced from the school in panic, whizzing past confused students and teachers. Paranoid, I boarded a bus straight back to my hometown. Reaching that sloped door on the forest floor, my worst fears are confirmed. A heavy boulder is perched on top, obscuring it. It must have rolled down the hill and pinned the door shut after I left. Adrenaline screeching, I throw myself at the boulder and heave it off. Nothing could have prepared me for the unfathomable sight I see when I pry open the bulkheads. The boy I'd said goodbye to in the bunker is no more. In his place is a yellowed, emaciated, incoherent, balding, bearded man. While I went to college and became an elementary teacher, Beckett was trapped in that hole, screaming every night, completely alone. If my mind ever recovers enough for me to teach fifth grade again, I'll have a lesson for my schoolchildren. Boys, don't play in bunkers. If you get trapped, you could survive down there for 20 years.